Insights with Terri Coots, a weekly look through the eyes of predictive astrologer Terri Coots. Here's Terri.
Hi everyone, this is Terri, and you're listening to Insights with Terri Coots. Thanks for joining me, and we are going to explore together the week of July the 5th through the 12th, 2026. This is going to be interesting to me. I'm part of you, so I'm here to learn as well. And every card that I pulled for the talk that we are going to have is a major card. So bear in mind, people that aren't familiar with a tarot deck, there are 79 on most decks, traditional decks. There are 79 cards in a deck. 21 of those cards are major, so the vast majority of the cards are called minor arcana. And for every card that I pulled is a major card, which tells me we are in a very important time for ourselves. Little things that we think are little, don't have any importance tagged to them, are not little. This is an energy field that expresses, when I say extreme caution, I don't mean it in a negative way. I mean it in a mindful way. That we have our mind plugged in and we're thoughtful of everything that we're working with and experiencing and working through. And I apologize if you can hear the dogs in the background. I have done everything in my power to put noisy creatures at a distance, and there's a limit here, I guess, on the farm. So, that being the case, we're still astrologically, we still have Cancer, which is ruled by the moon, in our sun sign, which is compassionate and loving and a very, very loyal type of energy field. In Mercury, which is how we think and how we communicate, that is still in Cancer. But that's going retrograde, which is very difficult for certain people that are more mercurial. Even for other people that are not mercurial, it's retro, which means, Mercury is the planet of thinking, the zodiac sign of thinking. It's ruled by Mercury. This is thinking. It's driving, communications, transportation, everything in that nature, like your computers. Everything is at risk of going backwards. A few of my cronies are experiencing these situations. I myself am. But esoterically, it's an energy field that's supposed to make us look back and try to find out things about ourselves. What triggers us? Having a conversation with somebody. What do you know triggers you? And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. I'm going to expand a little bit more on that a little bit later. And then, that'll go direct, not soon enough. I don't mind lessons, but this has been a beaut, but it'll go forward, and then when it's changing, sometimes we have a little bit of when I say crisis, that just means a boiling point, and so we can have a little bit more of what would you say, over the hill kind of energy, and it's a catalyst, and everything happens, and then the pressure leaves. Venus, the planet of love, beauty, attraction, is in Leo. Leo is a fire sign. We've been working in the first half of this with water signs, so fire and water. In my past podcasts, I've tried to explain that, and I don't want to kick the can too many times. It's just, how do we balance? Fire is a good element, and water is a good element. You put them together. If they're not balanced, we'll have fire putting water to a place that everything is evaporating, and if we have too much water, it can put the fire out. And then if we balance it really well, we have steam, powerful steam, and that can move a lot of things. It can blow up as well. So it's about balancing, really. We are supposed to be being led to learn how to balance our lives. And then Mars, the planet of passion and attraction in a way, not in romance necessarily, but things that we love to do, what we're would lay our life down for. What is our love? What is our passion? That's in Gemini, and that's a communicative, ruled by Mercury, communicative energy that wants us to really find our passion, our happy. And I know I've said this before, and I feel like a broken record, but many of us, and it's always ongoing work, right? But many of us want our partners or our friends to make us happy. I'll be happy when I get the job. I'll be happy when my kids are in college and they're safe. I'll be happy when I get married. But we're missing all the happy leading up to that, and maybe we won't be happy then. And what is happy, what is peaceful to each person? So we're being tasked, and have been for a long time, with the insistence of it getting stronger and stronger. And then the universe takes us down to, okay, I'll show you what uncomfortable is. And then we can go from there, and then you'll know what happy is. Just like we feel that we don't think about our health until we get the flu or pneumonia, and then we realize just how amazing it is to breathe. And we hadn't really thought about that before. Now, with Venus going back, as I said, it's in Leo, that's going to go into Virgo on the 10th of this week. And that will allow us to do some more organizing our thoughts, organizing our mind, our closet, our calendar. It's a really good energy for prioritizing and figuring out what do we need, what would make less pressure on us, and how do we achieve that. I think the only thing that can compare to that kind of energy is when it goes into Capricorn. Now, the beginning of the week, some of us may wrestle with some foot problems. So if you have a vulnerable set of feeties there, they may bark at you, so you have little barking feet. Just do whatever it is that you do to help that along. When I see this kind of an energy, I always look at my animals. That's an energy field where maybe if we have chickens, not like too many of you guys do probably, we'll get bumblefoot. So I look at them if they're picking at their feet or if they're limping. So this is the time that if they're vulnerable, it can materialize. Then towards the middle of the week, it's going to move up, and it's going to lovely. It's going to land in our necks and our vocal cords. I can already hear it in my voice, and I can feel it in my scratchy kind of voice. Our throat, our thyroid gland, so all that upper neck kind of thing. Even if you have a sore neck, like stiff muscles around your neck leading into that shoulder blade and under the shoulder blade, that is going to be vulnerable. So if you're vulnerable in there, throw the heating pad on ahead of time. So what? It feels good. If you use DMSO, slap it on. It's not going to hurt you. Just be proactive if you can, as opposed to being reactive and trying to chase it. Getting ahead of it won't hurt us. And then Saturday, and towards the end of the week, it'll move down slightly into the shoulders and the arms, the forearms, the again more heavily into your bronchial tubes, your lungs. So just be prepared for those areas this week to be a little bit vulnerable. Now, some of the cards that were pulled, as I said, were all major, and what we're being tasked with looking at some of this is wow, where do I start? I wish I had an hour. I'm trying to do this in 10 minutes, and that's hard. So they're going to offer us some opportunities, which are basically really strong challenges, to really look at ourselves, to individually say, who are you really? Not who do you put your best foot forward for. They're going to let us internalize and then externalize and see who we are. So situations will come to prove to you who you are. I think I'm this way, this way, this way, but a situation will prove to you that maybe if you thought you were patient, maybe it'll show you that you're not so patient, that some things get under your skin. And then what we're tasked to do is try to find the triggers. So what triggered this in you? What are your triggers? So this kind of an energy field that they're offering us may I'm just giving a sort of kind of example where we may have a difficulty with a person and this person gets in our face, and that could trigger us to respond in a way that isn't wonderful. So then we have to look at what did that person say that triggered me enough to respond this emotionally, and what in that person was triggered by the situation or by my words that made them respond in this way. So they're wanting us to look at the external triggers and the internal triggers, both in ourself and other people. And rather than becoming embroiled in the triggers, how do we step out, step back, and look at these triggers and say, how can I cool off this situation? We've already ignited. Flames are flying everywhere. Do I add fuel to this fire, or how do I cool this off? So this is what they're offering to us. So they're going to give us some situations that will trigger our triggers. Oh, we're so lucky. We're so lucky, aren't we? To have a universe that loves us so much to put ourselves against the wall like this. Then we're going to have choices. So this big major card came up about choices. And the choices are difficult because we won't have an answer that could possibly be 100% correct. We will be guessing. That being the case, we have a little bit of information to make a little bit of a decision in these situations that we're going to be tasked with, but we won't have all of it. So for those of us that want all the information and we want to make the right decision, and we can only make the right decision when we have all the answers in, we're not going to have that. So a lot of this, they're trying to get us to work with our intuition, to work with what feels right, what feels good, logically, without going off the deep end. So there are going to be situations that evolve to make us feel the situation, feel what the right way is and the wrong way is, and do we trust our source, our inner voice, our external source enough to blindly trust them to hold us in their, they don't have hands, but their caring, their love, and guide us through the dark. So basically it's kind of like what I used to do in the bush, but I don't do anymore because there's so more predators. This is so weird. I used to go out to the bush at night, not when there was a new moon, no light. And I used to like to see if I could feel my way through the bush, to feel the branch before it hit me in the face and scratched me terminally, to feel where the tree was, because it was so dark. There's no lights way out there. There's not even ambient light from the city. And it would be so dark. There's no street lights. And you really could put your hand in front of your face and you couldn't see it. Some of you have experienced that kind of thing, maybe in a closet. And so then it helps you expand your feeling, not your emotional feeling. Well, yeah, I guess your emotions are in that. But you're feeling your way around life, physically, emotionally, psychically. And so that's kind of what they're going to be doing to us in these situations. You'll be feeling your way through. What they want you to remember with this next major card is that strength is going to be offered to you, but not the bully kind of strength, not the yelling Karen kind of strength. Excuse me, Karens, if there's anybody out there called Karen, or Kevin, the male side of Karens. So that is an energy field that they're saying, find your compassion, find your faith, find your trust, find the love. And that love is the force that will give you the answer to move through this blindly, but you're not really blind because your guides are guiding you. Your intuition, if it's attached to them, is, and then look at the answer and the outcome. What we're supposed to look at is, how did that turn out for you? If it didn't turn out well at all, it's not the guide's fault, and it's not anybody's fault. It just says, oh, I guess you had a couple of notes wrong in that music that you just created. You might want to go back to the drawing board and practice a little bit more. No judgment, just it may need more practice. And that's what they're going to offer us. So that's what our week is going to be comprised of. I don't have time to tell you the amazing stories that happened to me this week. I mean, gosh. And it was all in that vein. It was all about being able to trust that this wouldn't be happening if it wasn't supposed to. What is my job in here without taking it personally and having a complete human breakdown, and it all, so many things worked out. Miracle, just miracle after miracle. So when you're doing your work in this, it doesn't mean that all things are going to turn out perfect and all things are going to be, you'll never have a bad experience. It means you're going to be learning from them, through them, in them. And so you become a huge opportunity for other people to learn through you, with you, and because of you, and you become your own opportunity to learn too. So that's where we are, kids. What an exciting week, isn't it? It really is. And then next week we're going to have the new moon, which is new starts, new beginnings, new thinking, new characteristics. So, we are so lucky. So, don't be afraid to give me feedback either, because I do enjoy hearing your stories as well as me chatting on to the nth of the earth. So if you want to email me, text or call, 519-726-6699 is the text and the phone line, or you can email me at that email address, which is terri.coutts@gmail.com. We can talk about your animals. We can work a training session. We can make appointments, whatever you'd like to do. But it's always interesting to share, isn't it? And even if you want to comment on the YouTube, you're absolutely more than welcome. Share your stories. Maybe somebody needs to hear that story. Alrighty, because this is on YouTube thanks to Charlie O'Brien. Speaking of Charlie O'Brien, he has been unmercifully beaten up by Mercury retrograde, but he has his computers back. And as far as I know, crossing my toes and my fingers, they're still working well. So we're back on all the platforms. And I want to thank him so much for being such a warrior, a Mercury retrograde warrior. So tune into his radio station, the Big 8 Radio, and that's streaming live. Streaming. I don't know all the right terms, forgive me. And you can connect to that, if that's the right term as well, at number 8 radio.com, and just wash yourself and hit the music that he puts together there. So again, thank you very much for your time. Hopefully we will be able to have a discussion again next week, God willing, and have a great week, everybody, and your feedback is very welcome. Wonderful, wonderful chatting at you. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Insights with Terri Coots. Visit Terri's website at terriworld.com. TERRI world.com.